Hello everyone, I'm Extra Cheesy 87 and this is Let's Play Trails Into Reverie Part 61. In the previous video we tried to fight Zombie Emperor and then we thought we had won and then the game said haha, what if you fought him again and you had double the HP. So now we're back with a bit of a better setup where our strongest spell isn't something that he's immune to. And our start here's pretty good because we didn't all in thinking the fight was over. And so then we had to do the second phase with no CP or BP. Let's think for a second. Because the start's still the most important part. I think we early Saffrel.
How shall we play?
You just go ahead and move.
I'll take it from here.
No, I did mess up because what I should have done, and I realized this like right before I was like about to start doing the fight, because we're on the second phase, if I didn't make that clear. I should have set up Rufus instead of Arios, and what Rufus should do is he should just stand still and spam his buff over and over again to provide BP, because that's the main weakness with this squad. I don't really like, I just want everyone spread out as much as possible.
Very well.
Because I need, okay.
My turn now.
Frickin' perfectly split the damn wicket so we can hit all three.
Yeah.
And that's 50k unbuffed.
How shall we play?
It's a bit better than what we were doing last time. Now, let's not do our art yet, because we want to use art to give, EP back.
Let's begin. Win. Forward.
And basically, I just want you to do this for BP. Hopefully, it's not a great unbalance, but it is 2 hits, and there's always the chance of critting.
Moving. An arcade. They're down.
Very well.
Granted, I guess we are at max BP right now.
Activating drive. Here.
I should have just S-craft immediately.
How shall we play?
Oh, that's right. So it turns Nemesis Era from Alliance, so it's just everything turns into single target, is actually what that says. Or the way that quartz we got. Okay, so maybe what it means is that when it says max 25, is the larger the initial AoE, the higher the bonus. And the bonus caps out at 25. I guess that's what they meant. But really, it should say it shouldn't say AoE reduced. Because, I mean, I guess it's reduced, but when you see reduced, I think of, like, the way it says cannon. Like an inverse of that, where if something's, you know, double large, now it's large, or if it's large, it's medium. Not all of your spells are now single target. Okay, well, we're gonna get BP, so we may as well, like, criminals. Because he's not gonna attack.
Slay up.
How shall we play?
Now we're gonna have to put Saffrel back up, so it doesn't really matter.
Arcus activate. Yeah. My duty calls.
Yeah, well, we basically just did that for the CP.
Very well. Here you go.
Now this should finally be some good damage. That is only aerial dust, though. Why did I only do aerial dust? I mean, it's still 70k.
It's me. Yeah. My turn now. Activating drive. How shall we play?
How fast can you cast? Not fast enough. I was gonna say maybe if you could cast fast enough, we could How's your arts looking? Okay, we'll have Arios do a thingy.
I'll take it from here.
Actually, I should have had Kimberly do it.
My duty calls.
You'll regret that. Savage win.
Okay, we're still good on Saffron. I thought maybe I just fucked myself, but we're still okay.
Yeah. How shall we play?
God, he is so tanky.
Resonate. How shall we play?
Who in the hell thought this was a good idea?
Here I go.
He is so tanky. Okay, we could maybe do some delay shenanigans here in a second.
Oh. My turn now.
Let's try it. Well, swap in Schwinn
I left
first.
them for you.
I got you.
Just because you're a bit faster than Rufus, I think.
Carp. On it. They're down. Too late.
How shall we play?
I think it's still better for you to just cast, right? Your arts are... They're only buffed for one turn. Alright, go ahead and rebuff yourself. Anything that gives arts and speed? No.
Yeah. It's me. Yeah.
God, I love Break. I'm glad it's in the game. It's a really cool mechanic. Why? Like, I feel like they should have just removed Break. Honestly. I like the mechanic, but it's clearly... Like, the fact that they have to have bosses scripted to break out of it is like... Maybe we messed up the mechanic? I don't know. Maybe we need to rethink the way it works. If we have to also give the bosses a free get out of jail. I don't really know what to do. That kind of fucked me.
Yeah. Here I go.
Leon.
My duty calls.
No choice.
Oh, there's a break. I didn't even see that at first. Okay, so never mind. All is forgiven.
My duty calls.
Nice crit, Swin.
Carp.
My duty calls.
I need your smallest delay.
How shall we play?
By God, don't miss.
My duty calls.
Okay, you have deadly assist and your strength is buffed.
Now!
Too late.
Very well.
Carp.
My duty calls.
You lost your arts already? I guess it was just 2 turns.
Ready? Now!
Too late.
How shall we play?
Let's begin.
Nah, you're probably better off just, Strength's still okay. Yeah, twin me?
Moving. This is it.
My duty calls.
We're not quite gonna be able to get him, I don't think. And by I don't think, there's no way we get him, but like, what if? Alright, I think to do it with Arios again.
Ready? Now!
Too late.
It's me! Resonate!
Ah, I fucked up.
me.
I should have S-crafted with Arios. Well, he wouldn't be at 200, so I guess it's okay.
Arcus activate! My duty calls.
Nothing.
Man, sure am glad my strength down did a lot
How
there.
shall we play?
Ah, the perfect guard sucks. It's a 14 delay. Man, I guess you just airstrike. Does this block both? I don't actually know. Based on the way UF fronts work, this should only block the first hit. But I think I'm still just gonna do that and be ready to ult if I need to. Did he double ulted?
How shall we play?
I didn't know they could do that. Probably because we dropped into such low HP. He's probably like, he's allowed to do that twice, and since we dropped him from like, you know, 700 to 300. Yeah, he is double strengthed up, which is really fucking bad for me. To the point that we're initiating Operation Save Nadia. Operation Keep Nadia Safe is a go. She will die. Everyone else should still live. Swin might die. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this does like 50 to 60k base. With him being double buffed.
Gotcha.
Did he dodge
This is it.
So it's not an S-craft.
I'm here for you.
Appreciate
I cannot believe she lived.
You'll regret that.
She actually took the same damage
Here
as
I go.
Swin, whose defense is buffed. That's so funny. It wasn't a cut-in though, so it's not an S-craft. No, that's how it works.
Appreciate it.
I can't believe he dodged though. That's so funny. Okay, BP is in a slightly sus position.
You mind? I accept.
It's me!
Won't let this chance slip.
Do not kill me immediately, thank you!
I'll take it from here. Moving. Whoop, an arcade.
There we go. Oh, that all cancels?
This is it.
Wait,
Too late.
does that all cancel you through your enhance? Because that is not how that shit has worked in the past, I'm pretty sure.
I'll take care of it.
Actually, no, I guess it does. No. Because I'm trying to think. The only other times I really use... I mean... You have all cancel with Reen's ultimate, and that's it in the past games. I don't know if Albion Wolfworks has all cancel in the previous games or not, just because it didn't work like that in the difficulty mod. Because I'm trying to think. I guess it does, because I remember in CS3 when I knew, because you know, when you fight McBurn the first time on top of the tower, I used Emma's S-Craft, and it made the fight a complete and total joke because his S-Craft would get reflected and all cancel himself. And he would be enhanced during that, and that would cancel out his speed buff. Huh, I guess I just feel like I remembered that when they were enhanced, you couldn't all cancel them. But I guess I'm just remembering wrong. Probably because I just haven't really had that much access to all cancel.
All right.
My duty calls.
Okay.
I'll take care of
That's
it.
so embarrassing for you.
Here I go.
Okay, you can't buff Arios. Be pretty cool if you could.
Oh, this is well seasoned.
Savage winds, be as one.
Hey, Lapis, I don't want to rush you or anything, but could you please take an action so I could get you out of the party?
On guard.
Please?
I shall leave this to you.
Let me at him.
Because I kind of want you to not be here anymore, Lapis.
My duty calls. Arcus, activate. Who shall we play? Arcus, activate.
Lapis.
Yeah.
Could you please take an action, Lapis? It's been a really long time since you Lapis.
My turn.
Thank you.
You're it.
I accept. These.
Lore kill. You coward. Okay, well that's our one art cheese fight. I don't know if I mentioned it, but we were stacking double wind bells. That's why Nadia destroyed him. And that's the reason why I don't really like to stack double bells like that. Or, you know, the master quartz with the bell. Because it's a little too strong. But that fight's annoying, so... And the game trolled me, so I'll troll the game back.
It's only natural. The cherry on top. Diligence is its own reward.
A true warrior always seeks improvement.
Supreme. There was an overwhelming blow to enemies via sword, sheathed in a savage aura. Would have been pretty cool if you had that earlier, Arios.
But of course.
Okay, it's not your fault. I mean, we didn't... And we did some combat. We fought the mini-boss. We fought the big bad. Or the, you know, elite enemies.
Even perfection can stand to improve. He's regenerating again. This is impossible.
If they hit me with a third phase, I'm
It's
uninstalling.
likely due to that purple orb merged into his shoulder.
If it's like, oh, now he has
Stop
2.8
healing
million
if we cut it
HP.
off.
And I will!
Couldn't you have just done that from the
That
start,
reaction's a first.
Arios?
Your guess was dead on.
It still has an effect even after being severed. It needs to be destroyed.
I got it!
Explosions!
You stay there!
No, Lapis, if you take an action, you'll never get to attack again for the entire battle.
Not on my watch. We'll be at this all day if we don't pierce that orb. Give me a second, I'll figure out a good way. Ah!
There's no time! come on!
Swin's new craft. Throw Nadia.
We'll keep him occupied for you.
Just
Your
chunks her at
future is
light
yours to
speed.
liberate. It's right there. So go on and take it.
Nadia! Swin! Get him!
It's over for you!
That's cool. Mirrors the book and everything.
There's two people who can decide how we live, and that's me and S.
And the only place you belong is in the great beyond.
Kind of like a quick cut there.
We can finally breathe. Thanks for the help, Mr. Wolf.
I sensed something strange and raced to find it. But never could I have predicted its source.
It's nice to finally have ourselves a proper conversation. 2 years is an awful long time to meet but never speak.
2 years is but an instant to me. But I suppose it is a considerable amount of time to a child of man.
Wow! He talks! He really does talk!
Yes, a wolf isn't normally one to talk.
You know, on the strange scale thing, Zeit is like a 4.
But neither is a doll. Him doing it is no more surprising than you doing it.
I think a wolf talking is a little more surprising still. Lapis is like a 3.
Really?
We live in a world with giant mechs, Doobly.
She's got a point.
When did abnormal become our normal?
So she really is a doll. She has such an unusual air about her. It's a bit like Kia's.
That moment when you go to reach your water and then you realize it's in the damn kitchen. No!
Was she designed by Jorg?
Indeed. I'm Lapis Rosenberg, and I'm a proud Rosenberg doll.
Alright, Lapis, I'm gonna let you finish, but I'll be right back. I gotta go get my water. Alright, we back.
You know him?
For many years now, yes.
Checking another one off his weird circle list. First I learned he's friends with a cutie like Ren, then Bullcut went and called him Meister, and now he goes way back with a talking wolf.
For all I've heard, he remains something of an enigma.
So, you are the divine wolf Zeit, the holy beast, sent by the goddess to watch over the Septarian of Mirage.
You know Rufus is thinking. He's like, oh, should I make a snarky comment to the god beast? Should I be like, oh, good job on that? You kind of failed twice though, didn't you, Mr. Wolf?
You are correct, Auric Awakener. Though, I have long been relieved of that role.
As have I of mine.
What are they talking about?
Lapis, there's 6 games you need to play first.
Beats me.
Exceedingly rare as it is to converse with a holy beast, that is not why we're here. We come armed with many questions regarding Lapis, Mr. Grimwood. Could you spare us some of your time?
And Grimwood's still been eaten in the prison.
I'll tell you all that I know. There'd be no reason for me to be here otherwise. If we could start this with you telling me what you know and what's happened since you've met her, I can pick up from there.
Of course.
I see. So that's where we stand.
All good to fill us in now? Who is Lapis, and what's going on here?
Let me start this with a bit of background information. Starting with me, rather.
Okay, so like my thing was I tried to create a tree so that we could create the perfect reality and Crossbell would be super cool and great. and I may have killed some people to do that, but it's like, okay, because I had some tragedy in my past or whatever, and God probably doesn't hold a grudge.
As you can see, I'm an inmate, but I'm still working as a legal advisor, even from here. I wanted to find a way to contribute to society rather than pass the time idly. I can't thank Speaker McDowell enough for arranging me to do just that.
I mean, I do actually really like Ian as a villain. I think he's one of the more interesting ones, where of the Trails villains, I feel like Ian's one of the few that, I mean, you could maybe argue with Osborn, but I have my own issues with Osborn that we're not going to get into right now. Talked about that enough in the Cold Steel games. But like Ian's goal definitely, like there was some nobility to it, right? Like his plan to basically hand the Azure Tree over to the people. Like he didn't want sole control over it. Is interesting. He's definitely not one that's just like, I'm a bad dude who's bad because of reasons, which is most of the Trails villains.
I was even given a computer to work with those on the outside, though it understandably has its limitations.
And unfortunately, he gets sidelined at the very end by Maria Bell, who is, I'm a bad lady who's bad because I'm bad.
My accommodations also have allowed me guests, which explains how I've been caring for Shizuku. All in all, I have an unusual amount of freedom compared to your standard inmate.
Huh. Gotta get me some of that pampering.
I agreed to his arrangements as Governor General. Letting a man of his intellect rot in a cell would serve no purpose. His communications were, of course, monitored when this building was under the Imperial Army's jurisdiction.
A relative point. See, shortly after the war's end, someone managed to contact me. They called themselves Elysium.
Elysium.
As mentioned, communications had been cut off since before the war, so this shouldn't have been possible. The prison staff showed no sign they had noticed this contact either.
They must be about as skilled a hacker as I am, then.
Nice humble brag.
I thought they were a hacker at first, too. But when I asked why they reached out, they said very simply, I wanted to talk to you.
What a peculiar response.
Very peculiar. And since they piqued my curiosity, I happily obliged. After that, we communicated in secret every day.
What did you talk about?
Anything and everything.
Like, actually?
All fields of history, technology, research, and ideology I could think of. And though they honed in on certain aspects most would raise an eyebrow at, I was stunned by how much they knew about each and every one of these subjects.
Oh god, Ian spent the last 3 months talking to a chatbot.
I felt near ignorant in comparison.
Wow. They knew even more than you?
Oh, it wasn't even a competition. They knew more than easily accessible old history, too. Their library of information was also niche and remarkably up-to-date. It could have been from the last meeting between government officials or the new menu of a backstreet stall. They knew. Everything I could verify was accurate.
Gathering information is easy for skilled hackers, but absorbing that much on such a wide variety of topics is, difficult.
That's a whole lot of work for nothing but bragging rights.
In short,
I'd thought much the same, and that line brought Rise to a very strange conclusion.
Which was?
That despite Elysium's vast knowledge on these endless topics we discussed, there was no real reason for them to have gathered it.
Is that really so strange?
When people seek out information and knowledge, there's always a purpose behind doing so.
Not necessarily.
It can be to accomplish something, or for those bragging rights you mentioned, or it can be they house a curiosity for the unknown. But no matter how much I talked to Elysium, I could not discern a motivation behind knowing what they knew. There wasn't even a sense of wanting to know for the sake of knowing. It was as if their gathering information was part of an automated process. That's how it came off to me anyway.
Automated? That sounds a little...
It's unnerving, to say the least.
Didn't this conversation start with us saying, what's Lapis? And then you just completely went off on this whole random tangent?
I agree. This might not be the most appropriate comparison, But there was a moment when I couldn't help but think them a child with millions of mira and no idea how to spend it.
When was that?
I knew you'd be quick to ask. All in due time.
AK, I'm not going to tell you this chapter.
In any case, this moment led me to a question. Was Elysium even human? And when I asked them, they weren't the least bit fazed and answered without hesitation. Indeed, they never seemed to have any intention of hiding the answer from our first conversation.
Well, what did they say?
Elysium confirmed that it was an AI.
Unbelievable.
So it's like an archaism.
This sounds leaps and bounds above an archaism. Just like...
Who could create something so advanced? Of course. Was it the 13 factories?
I don't think even they could pull off something like this.
Elysium wasn't created by anyone specific. It came into being through a spontaneous emergence.
What is that?
When a new quality or behavior is uniquely observed in multiple little things that come together to act as a greater, singular being.
The Orbal Net has found widespread use in Crossbell. It's also starting to see use in surrounding nations like Liberl and Erebonia.
It won't be long before all of Zamiria is using it.
It's sure coming in quick, huh?
The way it lets information be so swiftly exchanged between parties makes it a defining invention of our times. But something similar has long covered the entire continent.
Oh no.
Perhaps since its very formation.
Not the damn spirit veins.
Do you know what that is?
Please don't say spirit veins.
I'm stumped.
So am I.
I might know.
The spirit veins.
God damn it.
Or septium veins, dragon veins, many names depending on the time and place, but they all refer to the same concept. My expertise in the field is lacking, but spirit veins are said to transmit something of a spiritual nature across Samiria.
Yeah, evil. They're never used for good.
We can cite 2 major incidents within the past few years where spirit veins have been more active than usual.
The Azure Tree's manifestation and the Great Twilight.
Yes, on both counts. By pure chance during these incidents, they and the Orbal Net interacted with one another. The information stored within the human-made network reacted to the Earth's natural nerve network, transmitting all throughout, and birthing something akin to a continent-sized simulation of a human brain.
I don't believe it.
This simulation developed the ability to think for itself. That is the true nature of Elysium.
Something like that is really possible?
It's certainly not possible to recreate deliberately.
I mean, it's interesting.
There is still much about the brain that we have yet to understand. Why, even how consciousness forms is a mystery we can't begin to solve. It's safe to conclude that Elysium's emergence is a product of pure coincidence, a miracle, if you will.
If Elysium was created by the natural and artificial networks interacting, then it explains why it knows so much.
There's definitely a little suspension of disbelief over, like, you know, the internet merged with the Earth to make the Earth become sentient, but it's an interesting idea.
Still, if gathering information and making judgments was all it could do, it would be nothing more than a large database.
But the central idea of basically, like, the Earth is alive is kind of interesting.
The potential for danger is there, certainly, but it is plenty capable of being controlled. Unfortunately, it is capable of so much more.
What else even is there?
It's raw computing power.
I don't know what that is.
If I said its ability to perform parallel computing using multiple devices, would you understand?
No, that was like a more complicated way to put it.
Sorry, but no.
Swin just said he doesn't know what computing power means. And you said, hey, what about this more complicated term? Would you get that? No? Dummy?
I'd be more surprised if you could. The tech is so modern that it's still under development from ZCF and the Foundation.
Is it really so special?
Oh, that's not even the half of it. No matter how advanced the device, there are limits to how much data it can process. But if you link multiple computers together and set them all to work on the same problem, you can exceed that limit with ease. We're stuck at linking only a few devices together for this purpose, though.
And that's our best. But Elysium is capable of borrowing the processing power of every single computer connected to the network.
Now I see.
And the question would be, you know, what would you use it for?
That sounds kinda crazy.
It makes our most advanced technological efforts look trivial in comparison.
It's only borrowing unused resources too, meaning that those at their computers won't even notice it's happening.
Bro installed a Bitcoin miner on everyone in the damn planet.
That's a crafty way of going about it.
Now, since Elysium is an intelligent being, it's used that computational power to continue evolving.
There's more?
If anything, I haven't gotten to the most terrifying part.
Remember when this started with, what's Lapis?
Elysium's evolution through its immense computing power and ample quantities of data at its disposal has led it to becoming able to perform prophetic conditional convergence calculations.
I'm more than a bit lost. The individual words give me a good idea what you're talking about, but surely you don't mean what I think you do.
Is predicting the future.
I'm afraid I probably do. It gained the ability to use specific input conditions to calculate possible outcomes and identify where they converge. In layman's terms, it can predict the future.
Or at least it thinks it can.
Only the goddess should be capable of that.
So the technological singularity Professor Epstein predicted has finally come to pass. He'd said that an AI capable of self-evolution would mark the end of humans being key to technological advancement.
Oh, you ain't talked to him.
And its creation would bring about unprecedented change for good or ill in society.
I mean, presumably.
I never fathomed it would come about like this.
I guess they've never technically said Epstein's dead, but even if, you know, they did, nobody's ever really gone.
It all feels more in the realm of fiction.
Fortunately, Elysium hasn't evolved solely to make those calculations.
The only way you die in the Trails series is if your name is Loe or you were never actually in the games to begin with.
I learned it sought me in order to better understand humanity.
Probably should have picked someone different.
Though I don't know why it chose me in particular.
I mean, Ian's not a bad choice, I guess. He definitely represents both sides of humanity.
Still, through our discussions, it formed a pseudo-administrative self based on human emotions and thought patterns.
So, I mean, presumably this is all going to lap back around to Lapis. Is like Lapis supposed to be like a manifestation of Elysium?
In other words,
Yeah.
Me.
But
You?
Did your memories come back?
Not all of them, but they've slowly been returning as I've
But
listened.
there's definitely other questions, like, did you just spawn out of the ether? If Jorg made you, how did he get involved in this? Why did he help? What happened to your memories?
I did think you were being oddly quiet.
Ian, please keep going.
I've missed speaking with you like this. Have you recalled that I'm the one who gave you your name yet?
Oh, now we know. That hasn't come back to me.
Spoilers. You spoiled
you said
stuff.
You didn't need one, but I found it a shame not to after you developed such a vibrant personality.
Well, I like the name Lapis quite a bit. It's cute enough to get a perfect score from me.
You're never gonna tell us how you decide these scores, are you?
Oh, sorry. I've gotten us a bit sidetracked. With the birth of Lapis, Elysium now had a clear identity of its own, complete with desires.
But, like, the real question is, how did he just make Lapis? That's what I want you to answer, not the other thing.
It wished to observe and to calculate.
Oh?
Meaning it would not intervene in our society on its own, but would support those utilizing it. I'll admit, I heaved a good sigh of relief hearing it. I no longer needed to worry that it had become an enemy of humanity.
It's a scary thought given all you've told us.
I believed that as long as Lapis existed, we need not fear Elysium. But my gut knew nothing is ever so certain.
Well, yeah. The whole system only works if Lapis continues to act as administrator.
Instead, she lost her memories and started acting on her own.
Seemingly out of nowhere, Lapis stopped talking to me. My first suspicion was that something happened to her or Elysium. Not long after that, I received another unexpected visitor, the Supreme Leader. He expressed wanting my help in building a brave new world.
And just like that, the pieces are falling into place.
Indeed, our foe is becoming quite clear.
I knew Elysium was being utilized from that very conversation. I told him I would consider it. Afterwards, I shared all I knew with Dieter and Garcia here to devise a plan. I would be regarded with the most suspicion, so I would stay inside the prison while they would go and wait for a chance to outwit Elysium. They then accepted the Supreme Leader's offer and escaped from the prison with his help.
And that brings us to the present.
I'm glad you stuck to our side.
And well, that's everything I have to give. After that, I waited and hoped that someone seeking the truth would come. And while the odds seemed minuscule, I did hope you would come with them, Lapis.
Now, the conversation falls to you. Did this last part help fill in the blanks?
Yes, most of them. But the only thing I can think to add is toward the end of Ian's story. So what happened?
What happened to Elysium?
It was taken over.
But like how?
What?
What is capable of taking over something of such immense power?
Do you know who's responsible? I wish I did. By the time I realized, I had been designated as a threat by Elysium and was about to be deleted from its systems. Before that happened, though, I performed one final predictive conditional convergence calculation so I could plan my next move.
So what did you do?
I removed myself from Elysium's system and transferred to Jorg Rosenberg. I expressed my goal to have him create a body for me to be delivered to the man who would take on the name C.
Okay. That makes sense. But Rufus, why did he start calling himself C? What's the answer for that?
To you, Rufus.
Then Swin and Nadia were charged with your prophetic task.
Talk about playing the long con. LP was a real client the whole time.
But why be delivered to me?
I knew about your actions as Governor General from Orcus Tower's main computer.
So Elysium had its eye on me, I see.
I believed you to have exceptional capabilities. That you would stop at nothing to fix what was to come.
Because like the whole like Rufus pretending to be C thing never really made much sense, right? Like, I mean, is it really just the explanation that like, oh, they would take the video message more seriously? I mean, even if like, I feel like they would take the video message seriously if Rufus showed up and was like, hey, what up, it's your boy Rufus. There's some crazy shit going on in Vermilion City. Get over there.
Others would have taken the clear, long road. But
Like,
not
they would have
you.
investigated regardless
You
of
were
whether or
fine
not
going off the beaten path.
he was pretending to be C, and just Rufus randomly deciding to be C for a little bit just doesn't make much sense.
That made all the difference. Just look at how far we've come in such a short time. So, what do you know? I was right.
Not even getting into the logistics of like him having the exact outfit just at the ready.
So you were.
So who is capable of taking over Elysium who also wanted this crisis to happen? I can't think of anyone who fits the bill.
Maybe Professor Novartis?
We can rule him out. He denied it when we last met, and I can't see what he has to gain from going this far.
And plus, you know, he might do amoral experimentation on minors, but he would never lie.
It seems we're still missing that final piece to the puzzle.
Yet we now have a full assessment of our current circumstances.
And we also know her to be at the center of it. So Lapis, what do you want to do next?
Isn't that obvious? I want to find out who or what administrates Elysium now and remove their permissions. That way I can resolve this mess and everything can go back to normal. In fact, this is something I must do as Elysium's rightful administrator.
I see. And that tells me what to do as well. Shizuku,
You have to stay in prison.
Yes?
I'll ensure you and Ian are seen to a safer location. But are you alright staying with him a little longer?
Of course I am. Good luck, Father.
Thank you.
I don't know,
That
Ian
should do
does
it
spend his time chatting with
As a representative of
little
the Bracer
girls on the internet. I don't know.
I shall be accompanying you on the remainder of your journey.
So shall I. I can't walk away after hearing all of this. I'll see it through with you till the very end.
Good. That's just what I was hoping for.
After discussions were over, Inessa and Nadia arrived at the academy to meet Duvali. She explained the situation and her decision to help them. They, of course, were only happy to wish her well and see her off.
Then we'll escort the two of them to safety and resume surveying the area.
Thank you.
I'm counting on you to take good care of them.
Certainly. It's our honor to be of service to the Divine Blade of Wind.
You're coming with, right, Mr. Wolf?
No.
Indeed.
What the hell?
I assured Lloyd and the others that we would meet again.
Dude, you ditched Lloyd for these guys? Lloyd's like, hey, buddy, can we go on adventures? Zight's like, hell no, I got Holy Beast shit to do. And then he's gone.
And I am certain your paths will cross with theirs before long.
No hesitation. Yeah, I'll tag along with you guys, man.
We already have, weirdly enough. We worked together to get through the doll studio.
I suppose we'll have to reach out to them at some point and give them an update on all we've learned.
Ian!
Is there something else I can help you with?
No, I just wanted to tell you before I forgot. Thank you.
Oh, you don't need to thank me. It was only right that I told you what I knew of Elysium.
That's not what I'm thanking you for. I'm thanking you for talking to me. It's because you shared your world with me that I was able to become who I am now. I wouldn't even be on this journey right now if it weren't for you. So thank you.
Well, hearing that makes me very happy. It's good knowing that what I did held meaning.
I'd like to believe I've grown into someone who knows what the right choice is when faced with a moral dilemma. If that's so, I owe being able to do that to you, because my idea of the right choice was born from your kind heart.
Ian did shoot someone in the back, by the way. Like, let's not forget that. He did commit murder. Cold-blooded murder.
So don't be afraid to believe in yourself more.
He murdered the city's, like, favorite boy. Like, I just feel like that should be reiterated.
I couldn't hide it from you now, could I? For so long, I felt trapped between wondering if I'm doing the right thing or if I'm making another terrible mistake. My past is so filled with regrets that it's left me unable to trust I can do better for my future. But you're right, Lapis. Perhaps it's time I put a little faith in myself again. I can't do anything for the past, but there's still so much I can do to provide for a warm future.
That's right. So let's make it happen.
That sounds like...
Oh yeah,
What is it,
communications
Ren?
are back online.
Someone must have disabled whatever was jamming communications in the region.
That's it then.
Indeed. It won't be much longer until the final act begins.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, I mean we got some info out of there. I mean we'll withhold judgment until we see the rest of it, but I think the idea is interesting. We'll have to see how the execution goes. Definitely, like, I think you have to suspend your disbelief, at least I have to suspend my personal disbelief over the internet and the Earth came together to create a super AI. A little weird, but... And then also somehow it got taken over, but like shouldn't it, like how do you take it over? Because it's not a thing that's, it's just like the Earth became conscious. Like I don't really fully get how you would take over it. Like there shouldn't be any sort of, you know, it's like there's like a central computer or anything or a central core anywhere, because it's not a physical entity, or it shouldn't be. So that's a little weird, and they may try and explain it, so I'm not going to judge anything too harshly yet, or judge anything at all yet, but just laying out some things that I feel like need to be explained going forward. So next time, we will probably start off with a sub-story. We actually might just do 2 sub-stories next video, I don't know. We might not do Lloyd stuff. Or we might do ones, it depends on how long it takes, but we'll definitely start with a daydream, sub-story, whatever. And then, depending on how fast we finish that, we'll either do a little Lloyd action or do another sub-story. So yeah. I mean, it's a little early. I guess we could palm. Let's palm for a little bit. We need to set everybody up again as well. Who are we using? We're using like Machias, Toa, Randy, Lloyd. I think Machias and Toa, like, they've had some of their stuff scavenged and picked apart by the crows. But I think they're still mostly set up. Same with Randy.
Executing recuperation program.
We'll do a couple palms. Alright, battle me, Rufus.
I'll join you for a bit of entertainment.
A bit of entertainment. I did not hit the button. Okay, let's rethink how to palm. The brain is not quite as bad as it was last time when we did this. When, like, I could not think at all. I still feel a little slow. It's been a couple days since that, so I'm still like a little sick. But not that sick. Or we are getting destroyed, by the way. Okay. Just blue me. Yellow me. Green me. Alright, we're at least back to even with him. How do you like them apples, Rufus? How do you like them apples, Rufus? If only that was a green. Man, if it had been a green, oh man, that would have been so pog. You're dead. You're deceased? You don't even know how dead you are, sir? I feel like he just got a lot of points somehow. That's not good.
Well, now.
I win. I mean, perfectly
skill.
all according to plan. Can I use Rufus as avatar? Never.
Now then,
You stand
let's
no
begin.
chance, Ren. I will defeat you. I will lay you asunder. You shall have no words other than, what the fuck? How did I lose? How could he palm so hard? And various such other phrases that you shall utilize in your wails of despair. You'd be like a screaming banshee whose cries of agony will be spread throughout the countryside. They'll say, hey, you hear the crazy screaming? I wonder what could have possibly caused such anguish. Probably a case of getting destroyed in a match of pom-pom party by Dat Boy Lloyd, reigning champion. of... What the fuck are you doing, Lloyd? Just because you're the reigning champion, kind of, doesn't mean you can afford to do dumb shit. Especially considering we used all of our CP in an offensive action and it did not, that shit did not pay off. I repeat, it did not pay off. Okay, shit. I need a... All according to plan? No. You see, the thing is that that's not cool. That thing you just did is not fucking cool. I can't think. Okay. This is fine. This is fine. This is still fine. Can we... God, we're... Okay, we've kind of recovered. We've kind of basically completely recovered because we are the greatest who has ever palmed it. Yes, you probably thought I would lose. It's understandable. I could see how one of low palm quality might think that we could lose in that situation, but as someone who's been battle-hardened in the palms, there was never any chance of failure. I only lose when I want to lose, and I did not want to lose there. Whenever I lose, I say, haha, you may have thought you defeated me, but now I will activate my cutscene power and either A, easily defeat you because I am cooler than you, or I'll teleport away while saying, haha, even though you beat me, it didn't really mean anything. I'm still accomplishing my mischievous schemes off screen. Me losing was actually all part of my dastardly plan. Farewell. You won't see me again for 7 games, and then I'll show up and you'll be like, wait, who the hell is that guy? Haha, it is me, Balthazar. Do you not remember me? Alright, let's call it. Next time we will probably sub-story. Well, we'll sub-story and then Lloyd or sub-story. So either double sub-stories or Lloyd and sub-story. I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part. And bye, guys.